Alright, welcome in anyone who is watching. This is going to be the 49ers Season 2 4th and 1 League preview for Connected Franchise Mode. Already played my Week 1 game, just time was crunched. I couldn't make it before. I have 2 midterms this week and coaching coming down the final stretch, getting ready towards the playoffs, so not a ton of time. But got out of class early today. Have about 3 hours before practice today, and instead of being productive and doing studying before practice, I'm going to go ahead and do this now and then cram after practice, because that's the kind of dude I am. Anyways, let's go ahead and jump into this. Look at the depth chart. We'll talk more about the first game after. I'm going to just kind of through this act like I didn't really play the game. I'll talk kind of about the big play guys, I guess. But quarterback, nothing changed. Jimmy G still the starter. He actually got a superstar dev now. Got a dev bump for being the best quarterback. Let go. So I traded CJ Beathard Season 1, part of a Desmond King trade. And then who did I pick up? I picked up, what's his dick? 6'7" from Denver. Paxton Lynch. Let him walk. So got the Sanchez on a cheap 2-year deal. Serviceable backup. I mean, 82 short, 74 mid. So not the end of the world. But Jimmy G fortunately didn't tear his ACL here and has a 93 injury. So don't think I should be losing Jimmy G. But if we lose him, just like most teams, if your starting quarterback goes down, you're probably screwed. So, yeah. Running backs, still returning McKinnon and Breida. Those are my two kind of main guys. Why am I going to look? I don't want to look at the depth chart. We'll go look at roster. That way I can show you their stats from the last year. I guess depth chart's nice because you can kind of see where they'll be playing and such. But McKinnon last year returning, 1,000-yard season, 11 touchdowns, averaged 5 on the ground, and then put up almost 400 receiving yards, 44 catches. So really solid player. Excited to have him back. Started off rough Week 1, but I'm also turning Matt Breida, who his stats won't look good, but 17. Did he play in 17? No. Wasn't last year his rookie year? Oh, yeah. No, I'm messing it up. For some reason, I thought 19 was year 1. Never mind. This is right. Anyways, in the playoffs, he had, I think, about the same amount of yards total, and he helped in the pass game in the playoffs too. Overall, during the regular season, didn't do a whole lot. But excited to have him back. He had a rushing touchdown Week 1. Then I signed Jeremy Hill, kind of be my short yardage goal line back, leading my team in rushing so far. Last year with New England, didn't do a whole lot. Only had, 200 yards, 5 touchdowns, etc. But then I got a rookie, Travis Homer from Miami. Just another nice kind of short yardage back. 86 speed, 83 break tackle, 78 trucking, 78 stiff arm. So he's not going to get a ton of looks this season, but we'll see where it takes him. He's a nice, cheap 4th option. Fullback still have Kyle Juszczyk. I'm going to try to get him involved more in the pass and run game. Run game last year, he only had 5 carries. This year, I already gave him 2. So, I'm hoping to get him up in the 20s. The 20s to 30s would be nice. Receiving, again, last year only had 10 catches. I used him quite a bit. I just didn't target him a ton. I kept him in the block. Because if you look at his general, he played in 355 plays. So, he played a decent amount of the offense. This week, he played 24. That's kind of where I said I wanted to get him 20 to 30 snaps a game. And if you average out those 24 plays out, it's going to be around 385. So Want to get him around 400 total snaps this year. But anyways, enough on fullbacks. Receivers. Pierre Garçon returns. Took a little bit of a step. I don't know if you can see regression history. Yeah, you can see he lost quite a bit. Now in this league, we'll do a little bit of regression fixing. But I believe, how old is he? Is he 34, 35? Yeah, he's 33, so he only got 75% of non-speed stuff fixed. So, took a little bit of a step back. But he's still a solid player. He had 55 catches almost for nearly 800 yards and 3 touchdowns. He's just kind of that possession, which is what he always is. You look throughout his career, minus that one big year in Indy, and then, God, where in the hell was he in 2016? Was he with the Niners still? I don't remember where Garçon was after Indy, or if it came right to San Francisco. But you take out his 2 best years, and then obviously his rookie year, his worst year, he's right around 50 catches for 700 yards, and then about 3 to 5 touchdowns. So it's about what he is, just a nice possession receiver. The top signing of free agency was Josh Gordon. Inked him to a massive 5-year deal. Has star development because he got the bump that Madden gave him, I think. Or was he a star? No, I think he was a quick originally. But last year for Cleveland, didn't do a whole lot. I mean, 800 yards, 9 touchdowns. But Gordon, first game, 8 catches, $120, 2 touchdowns. And I think he's going to be a very big part of the offense. Played in 62 snaps already. I don't think he ever came off the field unless he was auto-subbed out for being tired. But Gordon, Garçon are going to be 2 good outside players. My slot's going to be a battle between Dante Pettis, Trent Taylor. Taylor disappointed me his rookie year, but I'm hoping he bounces back. He's got decent stats. 86. They have basically the same receiving stats, except Taylor's a better short route runner. Pettis is a better deep. Pettis will line up in the slot, but he runs a lot of those, those seam routes, deep digs, bubble screens because he's fast. So, also drafted Hunter Renfrow, just because the Patriot in me told me to take a small white slot receiver from the South, so I took him. Then I signed Jeff Janis just to be another deep threat guy, just a burner. What kind of killed me in my playoff game last year is I had little to no speed. So picking up Gordon and Jeff Janis, give me a little bit of speed. Janis can play a little bit on special teams as well, which is nice. Tight ends, still bringing back the GOAT, George Kittle. Got his bump in development for the breakout year he had last year. 137 catches, nearly 1,900 yards, 19 touchdowns. Led the league in all of those. Julio Jones and Calvin Ridley were second and third. No, Julio wasn't third in catches, but right ahead of the Falcons duo. And then I bring in free agent tight end Jesse James, running more of a 2 tight end offense. See his stats last year with the Steelers. Hasn't done a whole lot, but I like what he provides. He's a big, 6'7"? Yeah, 6'7", 260. Just an athletic player. 83 speed, 85 acceleration, 86 catching. And what's his jumping? They have it on here somewhere, don't they? How do they not show jumping for a tight end unless I'm just missing it? No, anyways, I'm pretty sure that's in the mid-80s. So, I guess we can always just scroll over too. Yeah, there it is, 87. So he's 6'7" with an 87 jumping. Then I also signed Max Williams, a former Golden Gopher. Skyuma, row the boat. Just another athletic, and he's my best blocking tight end. And then I also signed Jacob Hollister, another Patriot product, just a bigger athletic tight end. Do a little more run after the catch, so 4 tight ends I kept, and a fullback. So we go a lot of 12, 13, 21, 22 personnel. A lot of heavy sets. O-line really sucked because Joe Staley retired, so that flipped Mike McGlinchey from right tackle to left tackle. Star development. Decent ratings. Awareness is a little low, but overall he's my best offensive lineman. Left guard, I returned Laken Tomlinson, and Ted Karras I picked up last year. Decided to do a nice 3-year deal. He's in, especially in Madden this year, O-line depth is hard to come behind. And if you get a guy who has these kind of ratings, you kind of got to keep him. He's a guy who will get snatched up in a heartbeat if he's on the free agent market. So I signed him to a nice 3-year, $1.5–2 million a year deal. Whatever. Center still Weston Richburg, still a good center. He might have better ratings overall just because he has a really good awareness. But him and McGlinchey, my two best players. Right guard right now is a rookie, Zach Parker. Ted Karras is actually the starting right guard. But we'll see how much XP Zach Parker can get. He's an undrafted free agent, so he's on a nice cheap 1 or 2 year deal. He's weak, so who knows if he'll ever turn into anything special, but he's there just for some depth. Right tackle, I signed Havitali, or whatever, however the hell he pronounces his goddamn last name. I thought he was going to be the starting right tackle. Then I found a guy with pretty similar ratings. He's a little bit stronger. Awareness is significantly lower, but blocking traits for passing, and I'm a pass-happy offense, are all just better. So Craig Trainer beat out, was it Hal Vaitai? Whatever. Benched ass McGee. That's his name. So that's what I got there on the offense. Overall, offensively, improved the weapons, downgraded the line with Joe Staley retiring. So, sucks to suck, I guess, but we'll move on. Defense, we transitioned him to a 3-4. So we got Armstead. Signed Dietrich Weiss. He was a practice squad signing that I picked up off the Patriots. Impressed me enough, wanted to keep him around, really liked Dietrich Weiss, so signed him to a nice 2 or 3 year deal, whatever it was. So returned Buckner, picked up Christian Covington in free agency. I really like my D-line, my 3 techs, 4 eyes, whatever. So they're nice. These are guys, other than Wise, would all be 4-3 tackles. If I go back to the 4-3 after the season, we will see. But Armstead, Buckner, Covington, Wise, good combo. Nose guards, a little less important. I don't sit in my base 3-4 a ton, but Butler, McCullers, Kerr, big-bodied guys. If I'm in a base 3-4, what I sometimes could do is put Covington at nose, Buckner and Armstead at ends, but I'm not in a ton of 3-4 base anyways. So, not the end of the world. Left outside linebackers, picked up Brian Arakpo. Solomon Thomas, although his overall's lower, he's a better player. He just doesn't have the coverage abilities that Brian Arakpo does. Arakpo will still play. He's still a good player. I'm surprised no one really went after him in free agency. But he's a nice guy that'll rotate in at outside backer. Solomon Thomas, I believe he had, 9 sacks last year for me? 11.5, so he was, I think, one of the leaders of my team in sacks last year. Didn't have a sack in the first game, but he'll be getting there. He rushes the passer significantly, so Garrett Sickles, just a depth player. Middle linebacker, Reuben Foster. Dante Hightower returns, obviously. Traded for him last year. Sent Marquise Goodwin to the Patriots for Hightower. I needed linebackers. Goodwin wasn't really an effective part of my offense, so sent him off for Hightower. Spent my first-round pick trading for Rashaan Evans. So, last year, he was solid for the Titans. 61 tackles, 4 picks. Only had 2 tackles, though, this week, so hopefully getting a little more production out of him. But overall, 3 good middle linebackers. And the beauty with Hightower and even Rashaan Evans, you look at both of them, and they both don't have awful edge traits. Rashaan Evans has 84 block shed, 70 finesse. Hightower has 77 power moves, so they can, especially Hightower, he can play out on the edge. He can play anywhere along linebacker level of the 3-4. Traded for Shane Ray last year, gave away my 3rd-round pick for him. I think he was the guy with 9 sacks. Yeah, he had 9 sacks. So overall, not a bad player. Not a bad player at all. Really excited for him. Have a lot of athleticism here. Jeremiah Atachu, just signed him to a 2-3 year cheap deal, $1.5 million per year. Yeah, you can never go wrong with good backup pass rushers. Cornerbacks, Richard Sherman returns, Desmond King, Kella Witherspoon. Signed Eric Rowe in free agency. Overall, a deep unit. Richard Sherman was a beast last year and will still be a beast again this year. Already had 2 picks to start the year. Really happy about what he can bring. 8 picks last year, 2 to start this year. Sherman is a beast. I love Sherman. Desmond King, I think he had a pick. Yeah, he had at least 1 pick week 1. I don't know if he had 2 or not, but he had 1. Last year he had 6 and a sack. So King was a nice trade. I traded a 2nd, a 4th, and CJ Beathard for King. And then Witherspoon's my nickel. So a big nickel corner, big athletic nickel corner, which is nice. Safety still have Adrian Colbert, Travarius Moore, fast athletic, rangy free safeties who can hit actually as well. Strong safety still Jaquiski Tart. Glad they signed him. He's a great player. Phenomenal. He's great in run support, good in coverage, athletic. It's not many strong safeties that got a 91 speed, 87 coverage, good press, and good hit power. So he can kind of do it all. Not great at anything, but really good at everything, basically. Calvin Pryor is just that box safety that I picked up in free agency. Just a little backup. If Tart gets down, Pryor will step in, just be that box safety. So not anything special there. Kicker brought back Robbie Gould. Punter inked Bradley Pinion because I liked him. This year in picks, I have a 1, a 2, a 3, a 6, and 2 7s. Traded away my 4th and 5th round picks just to get extra late picks last year. So it's kind of what we're looking like for the team. Kind of look at the depth chart out here in the front screen. O-line, you can kind of see where everyone is. Defense, you can kind of see how it is. Special teams, don't care. Specialists. Practice squad, if anyone really cares. No one really should. So now we'll go ahead and take a look into the schedule. Started the year off against the Bucks, who actually was one of the teams that kind of upset me and beat me down the stretch. They gave me 2 consecutive losses, or what? No, they didn't give me 2, like part of a streak, but they brought me from I think 8-2 to 8-3. And I kind of over the last 7 games or 8 games, I kind of went. I think I went 5-3, or was it 4-3 over my last 7, which cost me a chance to get a bye. But was the 3rd seed last year. Got a win over the Bucks. Then I faced the division rival Rams. We had a play winning in Week 17 game, which I obviously ended up winning. But they got me last year. We split 1-1. Cardinals, that's always a solid game. I swept them last year. Kind of beat him, 40 burgers on him twice. But he improved his roster, so that'll be a better matchup, I assume. Falcons, they beat me in the playoffs. That's always a big game. Seahawks, we split the series 1-1 last year. Have them early on. Ravens, another FMOF battle. FOMF. Have one here with the Rams, so that'll be a fun battle. Saints, new Saints owners, so we'll see how that goes. Steelers, they had the 2nd pick in the draft. Drafted Justin Herbert. Vikings, I beat him week 1 of last year. He ended up making the playoffs at 8-7-1, won the division. Faced the Bengals, who were the top seed in the AFC. The Cowboys, who were the top seed in the NFC. The Browns, who won 13 games and were the 5th seed, only because the Bengals beat them out. Panthers, who is not an awful user, and then end the game with 2 divisional games. So overall, I'll be looking at another 11-5 win plus season. Games that I could lose this stretch here, Bengals, Cowboys, Browns. Be nice to come out of there 2-1. Most likely we'll come out of there 1-2. That's just a rough stretch. Falcons will be a tough game, and then probably lose a division or 2 game in there. So there's kind of about the 5 losses I'm expecting. So it'll be fun. Probably playing the Rams tonight, maybe tomorrow night, if it just doesn't fit in terms of the timing. But that's what it's looking like. Kind of, we'll just actually, you know what? We'll look at how the week 1 game went before we head out. I don't like to make these previews super long. That's just a short little preview. Didn't do my season review. I forgot to do it last year. But you just kind of look at player stats. Kind of say, forget the Bucks. Jimmy G had a nice day. That pick. God, how did I throw that pick? Oh, yeah, I threw. So we got down in the red zone. I threw a slant. Didn't even look at it necessarily. Just a boom, quick header. Yeah, threw it into coverage. Got picked. But it got caught. The guy ran it out of the end zone. Got tackled. Broke the tackle in the end zone. Got tackled for a safety. So the pick ended up getting me 2 points and the ball back, which I went down and scored a touchdown then. So that was a fun sequence there. One of those interceptions where it didn't turn out actually bad. It was actually good. So I'll take it, I guess. Rushing, McKinnon struggled. Hill and Breida kind of led the team in rushing, but we'll see as that balances out. Receiving, Gordon, McKinnon went off. Kittle didn't play in the opener just due to a few personal misconduct things with Kittle. Had to sit him for a week. He'll be back, though. So, go to blocking. 2 sacks. Of course the tackles did. Of course. Picks, we forced 5 interceptions, so Sherman had 2, Tart, Foster, Desmond King. I don't even know if did we have any sacks? Yeah, we didn't have a single sack. And then kicking, I missed 2 field goals. Missed both of my field goals. And missed an extra point. So, that was fun. I think one of them was blocked, though, an extra point. Oh, no, it wasn't blocked. I just shanked all of them. Never mind. So, that has to get better. Anyways, that's kind of the season preview. We'll be back for the season review after the conclusion of the season.